Welcome back, everybody, to episode 13 of Drink Smarter, Not Harder. Today, we have a really exciting episode.
Yeah.
Our first, well, not our first, because Palm Springs, we brought on a lot of guests, but this is our first kind of sit down.
I'd say it's our first interview.
Yeah,
I think it was
exactly. First interview. Palm Springs was like a compilation.
Yeah, it was kind of a fucking show.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Yeah, it was great. But no, today we are bringing on Nathan Critchett, who is the CEO and founder, I guess his official title will be, of LÜM Spirits. He started a seltzer company his senior year of college,
which you went to LMU. Yeah,
went to LMU. So dope. Him and I kind of became friends this year through the wonderful, the amazing Ella Knowlton. So today we're gonna just be sitting down with him, having a conversation about kind of what it takes to run your own business, his experience in college.
Yeah. And for me too, I thought it was cool because I'd only met him like maybe for like a minute, just
randomly in college.
House,
yeah,
but like it was cool to actually ask like some personal questions and like someone that's doing such a cool thing like that. I know we talked about our friend Bobby on the last episode, so this is kind of another person that is kind of spreading their wings.
Yeah,
I'd say,
and really
taking a risk.
Yeah, jumping off the deep end and just going for it. So I love to kind of pick people's brains about this, but also just to hear his perspective. And he's also just a wonderful
Super
human.
Cool.
He's hilarious and super driven and super passionate about everything that he does. So yeah, we're really excited for you guys to get to hear from him. So without any further ado,
let's kick it to Nathan.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome, Nathan, to the podcast. Yeah. We're so excited to have you.
This is a first.
This is like a noteworthy episode here. You're our first guest ever.
First guest, first out of state guest. I mean, you guys can pull from. I mean, this is across the country.
Yeah, no, we're crossing state lines here. We're doing a lot. So, okay, before we kind of like get into everything, I'd love if you just kind of wanted to introduce yourself, talk about maybe where you're from, the fact that maybe where you went to school, whatever you want to share as your little intro.
Yeah. So I'm Nathan. I went to LMU, like all this group here.
Oh yeah.
I grew up in Torrance, California. So West Coast boy, but my family grew up in Massachusetts, which is where I'm at right now.
Nice.
Doing all the stuff that I'm doing. So I would live out here pretty much every summer, since I was born. And then now I get to experience the winter, which is not as fun as the summer.
How is that?
Yeah. How is the winter been treating you?
I'm wearing a beanie inside.
Yeah. That's self-explanatory.
I know. I think a couple episodes too is funny. Like we were talking about like weather, so I'm like I brought it up, and I was like, and too, like being from like LA or Torrance area, it's like 60 degrees. Like anything below that, it's time to put on sweats, hoodies, everything. And now so
we can only imagine
experiencing the winter.
Yeah. My hands and feet. That's it, pretty much. Like if my hands and feet get cold, like I'm growling as I walk out of the door.
Yeah.
When I leave the house, I'm
Upset, no, that's fair. That's fair. Well, thank you so much for being here. We are so excited to get the chance to chat with you today, and just excited to kind of switch things up outside from me and Dom.
Us idiots talking for
an hour about our typically our weekends, which actually leads us into our first point. We always start with a little bit of a weekend recap, what we've been up to, what we got up to the last weekend. So if you want to give our listeners a little insight into your recap,
Nathan Critchett's life.
Let's hear it.
We picked the right weekend for me to give a recap because up until this weekend, I'd only gone out like once. I'd been out here for like a month. So I just I don't know. I'm out here by myself. Like I don't have coworkers out here with me. Like I didn't just move in and just get flooded and with a bunch of people that have friends out here already. I'm just by myself.
Yeah.
This weekend, it was just I don't know. It was a lot. I'm beaten, battered, and bruised right now.
Yeah.
At what is it? Like almost 7:00 my time. So.
Oof.
Yeah, we're feeling it. We did a little photo shoot today. But for the actual weekend, my buddy had friends from Ole Miss that were in the
Fun.
area, and they had texted him that they wanted to like go out with me and like have a good time. So I was like, heck yeah, like let's go. So just went into these random people's apartments, never met them before in my life. brought some LÜM in, and then I was like the fan favorite right away, and that's always nice. And then we
Love
just
it.
went out, had a good time, danced until like, well, the bar, we didn't dance in the bar. It was actually kind of like, it was not great. It was not great inside the bar, but made up for it because they had this big ass speaker in Southie, which is just like, I don't know, like any like high density college area. Just picture that in apartment buildings all stacked on top of each other.
Wow. Okay.
And but like Boston style. So like all the decks are like wooden, super cold. Like I don't know, just any Boston movie. That's like what the place is.
Yeah,
and
I'm
we took
picturing
the
like
speaker and we put it outside until like 3:30 in the morning. We're just dancing, playing Rufus. Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, made up for the not dancing at the bar.
I was gonna say, sounds like that was maybe more noteworthy than the bar experience.
Oh my God, it was way better. I would if we would have just stayed there and like not left, I wouldn't have had a problem with it at all.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Well, thank you for sharing your. Oh yeah, keep going.
Oh, I was gonna say doubled down. Then I went out last night, which I haven't done a two-nighter. I haven't done
the back-to-back
2-day drink day or 2-day drink week in a long time. So yeah, that was these other people that I had like just met like a couple weeks ago. They wanted me to come out, and it was one of their birthdays. I was like, all right, cool, we'll go out. That ended up being really fun. We went to like the oldest bar in Boston,
really,
which did not feel like the oldest bar. Like it's like still like it's like revamped, it's new, and like a regular younger kids bar. It's not like a, I don't know, it's not like a dive when you think of like what the oldest Boston bar would look like. So that was really fun too.
Fun.
And people in Boston don't fuck around either when they go. It's a different type of drinking, I'd say.
We have, Taylor Sherman, our good friend. She I think is a prime example of
resident,
that. You're gonna have a good time when you go out with her, and probably maybe take one extra shot than you needed, but like it's always gonna be
or a couple.
Or a couple, it's always gonna be memorable.
Yeah, there was people. Oh my God, someone got arrested in the bar last night. There was like a cop car came in and like it was just totally normal. Like no one did anything.
Yeah, no one blinked an eye.
5 cops rolled into the bar and like were shaking, literally like waving handcuffs. And they like started like pushing the people out. I was like,
whoa. What did they find the person they were looking for?
Oh yeah, no, they found him right away.
Okay,
but like, the people they found were like arguing back or whatever, and then they just like.
So yeah.
Wow.
They bodied him out of the bar, and then they started like fighting on the street. I was like, whoa, all right.
Was it clear like why he was being like the subject of like a manhunt or just?
No, it was just I couldn't guess. Maybe the dude like stole something, or maybe he was like doing drugs. I don't know, but I feel like it was weird. They literally pulled up in like a full van, like a like a van, like a police van. Yeah.
Holy shit!
They just pulled up, and I was like, oh, that's weird. Like that the sirens are out there, and then all of a sudden we were waiting in line to go upstairs. I turn around because you hear like shouting, and I look, and the dude's got handcuffs. He's like waving them. And the other guy that he's like talking to is like, he's got his hands up in the air, like, oh, I didn't do anything. And another cop comes around and chokeholds him. And pushing him out the bar. I'm like, these guys aren't messing around.
No.
Yeah.
If they're waving handcuffs around, that can't be a good sign. Like they're out to get who they're looking for. Wow. Well, that's a way more climactic weekend than either of ours, but good for you. That sounds like a fun time. I too haven't had a 2-day drinking festivities in a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah, so that's fun.
It's
but
almost better. We talk about it all the time, but like sometimes having that like go out on Friday and that Saturday night where it's just kind of chill, get some food or something, treat yourself, like hang out and like wake up Sunday refreshed as normal person on Sunday is always nice.
I feel like we're rubbing it in right now though, that he's battered and bruised.
He said he's been missing out. So
I'm not complaining. I definitely needed to go out with like people.
That's fair.
For sure.
Yeah,
so
you need it sometimes. It can get a little like, whoa, I've been in my hibernation mode, I think. But anyways, okay, well, thank you for sharing your weekend recap. I thought, to give the listeners a little bit of context as to kind of how we became friends / how we were introduced. Just to give a little background, because I feel like I met you this year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
it was either this year or end of last year.
Last year.
I was out of college.
Yeah. Yeah, because what year did you graduate?
21.
21. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, so my former roommate, the infamous Ellen Olton, who we all miss dearly. Ellen, we miss you. She is like doing her whole bucket list right now, traveling the world, like coolest thing ever. Can't wait to have her on one day.
Yeah, man,
those stories, woo, are gonna be insane. But you guys had been friends for a while, I think, right? Like since the beginning of college. Yeah. And you would come over and I just like kind of see you in the kitchen with her. I think you guys were like trying different looms, or I don't really know. And then one night, I swear, like we just emerged, like the three of us went out. I think like I don't even really remember. I don't have a core memory of how exactly
is this why you asked him?
Became, yeah. Honestly, clearly it's not super clear in my head, but I can't remember a specific time that I don't know. It just felt like it kind of happened. Unless you remember it differently.
No, we were just like mutual. Ella was mutual friends, and we were just like, I would just come around to hang out with her. And it was one of the nights when I brought over, because we had new flavors coming out, and we like had them. I made all of you guys try them, I think, right?
Yes.
Did you try them? Yeah. Like, so I was talking to everybody, and then there was. Maybe it was this year, actually. Because I remember I was like racing back from somewhere so that I can make it out with you guys.
Yeah.
And because Ella was like, you got to come out with us. Like, we have you're going to have a blast. Like, I feel like you would fit in. It'd be great. I'm like,
cool.
Twist my arm. I'm coming.
Yeah.
And so I showed up, and then we were all like drinking, having fun. But there was the one night, I think I was like, I pulled up and we were watching. Did we watch? Was it Euphoria?
Yes, we did.
Was it.
And that shit was a little, for anyone that's watched Euphoria, it's a bit of there's a lot going on, shall we say.
It wasn't. It was definitely also not the episode for me to be sitting in the same room as the two of you guys. That was probably not, not the right call. That was probably like when we met each other, but then when we actually became like friends was when we went to Hermosa that one night, because we had talked about going out like together, and then when we finally met, it was like, all right, it was so
fun. And when we went to Jameson's one night, I think that was the first time I'd ever gone to Jameson's with like you, me, and her, and we like ran into a bunch of people there, or, like met up with them, and it was like the live band, and we were just like raffling around the town, like maybe over the summer, end of the school year, something. Somewhere around there.
It was that was a night that I had an AMF. That was the last part that I remembered.
Those will do it. Yeah. And then the next time we went out together, we got like the fish bowls. So you powerful drink orders. Yeah. Do you have the shark with you?
No, the shark is in my car at California. I have the donkey.
The donkey. Okay, so some background here. I swear to God, I think the first night that I went out with Nathan and Ella, we went to Sharky's, and Nathan got this like fishbowl, or someone got this fishbowl, and it came with like a toy donkey.
I feel like that's just not the animal to have in the fishbowl.
No, and like that wasn't even the best part. The best part to me was the next morning, Nathan texted Ella, no context.
Why
Just a photo of the donkey on his bathroom counter, and then a second photo of the zoomed in same photo, just of the donkey. And I don't think I've ever laughed harder in my life.
It's honestly pretty impressive that both times that you can say you still have the animal from the fishbowl. That's impressive.
They're like collectibles.
People are losing their wallets and keys and everything, and Nathan is just like, whatever happens tonight, I am not losing this toy animal.
It's like when we went out in Hermosa, like I think we each got sharks, and all of the videos, there's videos of us the whole night. We like have the sharks like dancing with the sharks. It's like it's a little weird. You think we're like 8 years old, but
like making like that was bite funny. People.
Yes, it's just like annoy the shit out of people, poke them away.
That's funny.
Oh God. Anyways, but yeah, it definitely just mutual friends. I feel like our friendship emerged in all the night outs. I've never had a bad time when I'm around you, so I feel like just an ideal person to go out with, really. But yeah, I think next we kind of wanted to, because you also, an LMU grad. We kind of just wanted to hear about your LMU experience, major.
We kind of talk about what we were involved in, or like places that we went, like as bars and stuff. And obviously you're a year older than us, but like COVID affected us in different ways.
Yeah.
Sure. So talk about like anything that you were up to, school wise, and then socially too, like if we have
college years stuff.
Yeah, that's actually wild. I think this would be the first time I like even try to think about like recapping college experience. It's been a while. But yeah, I actually didn't even drink freshman year.
Wow.
I didn't drink until I finished freshman year. So like whenever I was going out, I was just kind of always like, I was always the DD.
Yeah.
Kind of like the odd man out. Like I wasn't really involved at all in like any kind of going out scene. And then I came back sophomore year, and I had a very steep learning curve for going out in college. Like it was not good. I was very lucky. I had good friends that could take care of me.
Yeah.
Happens
to the best of us.
Yeah. But what's it? So I played baseball all 4 years. Luckily, somehow, I blew out my shoulder. I was just like not good after I came back. Like there was not a lot of reasons why I should have kept playing baseball. I just really enjoyed hanging out with the guys. Like being on the field. Like I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I just knew that like every day I got to like go and play baseball, or like go onto the field, or like work towards something.
Right.
Like that was like the best part for me. So I played definitely longer than I should have. Thankful I got to play all 4 years. I was an entrepreneurship major.
Nice.
Which is where the ideas come from. What else did I do though?
I mean, like that's a busy schedule right there.
Like baseball, going out, and then like doing school. I had a company that I started freshman year, and I ran it up until the end of sophomore year. It was like a recruiting platform. When I started playing baseball again, I just like didn't have the time for it, and I was like, man. So I ended up shelving it. But then when we came back, and then COVID took the junior year season away, that was like I didn't even go out for my 21st birthday.
Wow.
So that was you guys probably didn't either though, right?
I'm an infant, so I did, because it was fall of 20.
It was like
21.
It was like 3 weeks ago.
Okay, thank you. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, Dom didn't. I did.
Yeah, but like I didn't even get to go out. I wasn't a big like bar person anyway.
Yeah.
Like all my friends would just we'd all go to the house parties, right? Like
right.
Something, or like some friends in Creek Life would have whatever, and we just stay.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't really go out too much. And we would also, that was when I lived in Manhattan. I had the beach house in Manhattan.
Wait, I went there once.
Probably, yeah. Like there's people that I have never met before in my life, and when I introduce myself to them, and they ask if I know this person, they were like, "Oh, I remember you from this house." And I'm like,
"That's a problem."
Yeah.
I mean that thing was like a revolving door.
Yeah.
Lucky we didn't.
Dope place.
Yeah. Oh, it was awesome. Yeah.
Talk a little bit about being a college athlete, because like at least for me, like I forgot, I knew like kind of you did, but like I had a lot of friends, and like I feel like people glorify especially D1, like the experience that you get as an athlete. But I know from people telling me, and like I'm sure you might have some of the same feelings, that it's really not. So like if you want to talk a little bit about your experience, or like some of the struggles that you had, and some of like the better times that it was like fun to be an athlete.
Yeah. Well, it was always fun for me when we were like anytime I got to compete. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like LG, like I think there was a time where like we were out all together and there was either a ping pong table, a pool table, or whatever. But like anytime I get to compete in something, like I'm there. Like I enjoy it, and I go and I do it. So anytime I was playing baseball was a good time. LMU was different though. Like I don't know. I don't know what it would have been like if I was like just a not athlete in school. But LMU isn't like a big D1 school, right? It's like a mid-tier. We play all the same teams, like we compete against like the larger Division 1 schools. But it's not like, you know, we had our own food court like at Stanford or UCLA, or like, you know, we get like all this special housing, or, you know, like money.
Like really what it comes down to.
Yeah. And so like the experience was great because we all were there to like compete and try to win games. And it was it goes for all people that go to the same college. Like they all picked a school for a specific reason.
Mm-hmm.
And so not only did everyone on the team pick LMU as like a school for baseball, they picked it as a school for like people. So all those guys were like my best friends.
That's cool.
You know, I love that answer as a tour guide. Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, like it was just because you're around them all the time, you know, and like that any time that we were all together was always like a good time. And we still have like memories, you know, the snap memories will come up and I'll send them. And I actually sent one today to the guy who I was roommates with freshman year and senior year. And I was like, dude, it's crazy. Like this memory was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like when we were freshmen. Wow. Like, dude, that is nuts.
That's wild.
Like, yeah, that's pretty crazy. But yeah, it's also different now too, though, because of all the NIL stuff. Like if you guys know what that is, like it's when you basically can make money off of your name and likeness. So like if there are jersey sales, or like you're like really good, like you get endorsed by another company. So there's a lot more stuff now. Like guys that I played with that were like freshmen when I was a senior, they're like getting deals where they get either a bunch of free product or they're like getting paid
crazy
to represent for these companies. So and
especially,
that's regardless of what like D1, 3, like how high up. It's like if you're that good and you have like a social pull, you're getting money.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy, like the brand deals that some of them are able to do, and how like I'd be so upset if, you know, now it's like thinking back to, I remember thinking about in like 2016, like watching the Olympics, and like right when kind of social media was like starting to become more of like a job for people. And I was like, wow, that's crazy that this is their life. Like they don't really have time to do a full-time job outside, but like can't accept, like in my opinion, it should have been updated a long time ago, but I'm also not. But so you mentioned you were an entrepreneurship major. Did you always know that you wanted to major in that? I know you've always I didn't even know you had this
second company.
Second company like platform your freshman year. Was it kind of always something you wanted to do? Has this always been something that, I don't know, you've been good at and coming up with ideas, or was it just, I guess, when did you decide that was your path?
I always did stuff. I always was trying to figure out ways to like make money. So like when I was in, I don't know, first or second grade or whatever, there was this like a student store at our elementary school, and I would write comics and then sell them at the student store. And then I would make my mom drive me to the like Home Depot or whatever, or not Home Depot, like whatever office store that was there, Office like when Depot. I was
Something like that.
So, and I would make, I'd have her buy me like a bunch of these pens, like the special ones, and then this, that, and other thing. And I'd like customize them, and then I'd put them in the student store, and I'd like make money on that and do that. But I actually wanted to be like a doctor or like a sports physician.
Oh, interesting.
I was never an All-American for baseball, but I'm actually an All-American in sports med. I was one of like the top 10 like people that was like in this sports med competition for high school.
Really?
It's like my one thing. Yeah.
That's
it's like
so cool.
Little fun fact. So I
so
know
many
all about
fun facts. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's like quietly one of the cooler things that you can like kind of flex and be like, yeah, no big deal. But
wow.
I totally forgot about it too. It was like last week, like I was on a call with my mom and she was like, oh yeah, like I was like setting up stuff in the dining room because it was for like Thanksgiving. So I was setting up stuff in the dining room and I looked up and I saw the pictures. I'd like take a picture with like the
plaque or whatever,
frame, trophy, like everything. And she was like, totally forgot you did that. I'm like, I totally did too. It's kind of funny. So I wanted to be a sports medicine like practitioner. I want to do something in the field because I loved sports, and I ended up having a career-ending injury, but like I would get hurt a lot like when I was growing up playing, and those people were like so pivotal to me, and not only like what I wanted to do in baseball, but like they were the people that I talked to all the time because I was in there like 3-4 times a week from probably like 12 to 17, like well before I got into college. And I was just like, they're just like mentors in a way. So I was like, I want to help people like that. I want to, learn how to do all this stuff and how to get people back to do what they want to do, because what they helped me do was like, it meant more to me than I can explain. Like they're there for me mentally and then physically, and they helped me chase my dreams. So I wanted to help do that to other people. Then I had to dissect a mink in high school, and I said no.
Yeah,
that's the stuff that you have to do in order to get your licenses and stuff. And that was when I was like, I need to figure something else out.
Yeah,
fair.
So I don't blame you.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah, like let the creature's dead. Don't touch it. Let it dead.
Let it be.
Yeah, I could never do. I couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. But yeah, no, that's it reminds me of you selling your comic books. This is a total side note, but I ran a cupcake business when I was 12. For some reason, I was like, I had it out for Cupcake Wars. I was like, I have to get on Cupcake Wars somehow. So I made business cards. It's called Cherry on Top. That was a pretty cute idea.
Yeah.
And I'd sell it. I'd sell bags of frosting to kids, which is so gross, for like 50 cents. A bag of buttercream frosting. And then I do like grad parties. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that 50 cents took you miles, didn't it? That was like every 2 quarters, you're like, yes. Sometimes you're coming in dimes. You're like,
it was the best. It was the best.
I used to die. It's kind of like baking buddy, whatever. Like people used to get like the Nike Elite socks or whatever. They're huge. And people would start dyeing them, and you could do like all these different things. And I was the guy in my middle school that was like, you want your Elite socks dyed? Like you go to Dom. And so I used to have like buckets and buckets in my backyard, and I used to just sit out there and dye socks. And then the next week I'd bring them to people and just.
How much you charge?
It's like $5.
Nice. Okay.
Whatever. He's a 6th grader. That's just like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, yep. You get an ice cream today after school. It's funny.
It's on me, Mom.
That is so good.
Yeah. I love it. Wow, look at us, all our little businesses. But
hustles.
Unlike us, you actually continued with the businesses, the ideas. Most recently, LÜM, kind of I don't know. I feel like it's like your baby, your main, your job right now. So talk to us about what LÜM is. We don't have one in our hand right now, which I know is a crime. It's definitely a crime that I know we just couldn't bring ourselves to drink at like 3 p.m. on a Sunday. I don't know, but we suck. We'll drink them this weekend.
Yeah, I was gonna feel bad because I don't want to sip right now. I wouldn't
No,
either,
no
so.
worries. Yeah, that's the beauty. Drink smarter, not harder. Sometimes, it's not the
Sometimes it is
time.
Sometimes it
smarter
means
to
not at all.
Yep.
yeah, exactly.
That should be our
I love
slogan.
it.
Oh, that's too good. Anyways, but yeah, talk to us about LÜM. When did it start? What is it about? Yeah.
Yeah, so LÜM Spirits for Illuminate Life. Tagline, we make every experience a little bit brighter. That's
Love
I
it.
like that.
first 3 sentences I say to every single person that I sample. So you guys know what the whole pitch is.
Yep.
Yeah, but I started it my senior year of college. The first cans came out right before Christmas 2020.
Oh wow.
So I had the drinks and I was like semi-operating the company in my senior spring, like that last semester.
Yeah.
And but I mean, I needed to graduate and
Mhm.
keep playing baseball. So I really didn't run the company until after we finished playing baseball, which was like I think June like 1st was like my first day, like actually like full time. And then I was on vacation for like most of that summer because I just graduated anyway. So I almost really didn't like do it full time until like September.
Okay.
But it's been like a year and a half since I've actually been doing it. Uh, we started with those 10% drinks, which yeah, the 10%ers were
Be careful with those.
yeah, they were and still are bombs.
Yeah.
And they get you. But
They're great though.
then we just got into like a lighter drink, which is the 77 calorie no sugar ones. And so that's like we're just on like two opposite ends of the spectrum right now, where we like skewed heavy one side where it's like really strong alcohol and no one had really seen that at the time, and then we have like no one's seen a drink that's below like 80 calories, right?
Yeah.
So that's like the other end of the spectrum that we have there. The flavors have gone through like a couple iterations. We've already done one rebrand. I don't plan on doing another one, but the cans, our logo was actually like palm trees with a hammock. That was
I
like our
remember
first,
those. Yeah.
like the boozy smiley face almost,
Mm-hmm.
right? So those cans and the like the liquid, like the formula for that actually made people like really hungover, which like it wasn't actually supposed to, because none of the samples did. And so something like was wrong in there and I'd like change it up a little bit. So the new ones that we had that like we've had this whole year pretty much,
Yeah.
those are not like the first ones. Like I had to change up the formula a little bit. And
Got it.
Um that's where like people can drink them now, and the only way they're getting hungover is if they like you drink too much, like if,
Yeah.
and it's just like a thing. But there's no like headache from all the sugar. Like I don't remember the last time I had a hangover headache. Yeah,
Nice.
Which is a
that's
plus
kind of it.
that I can deal with, the tired, or that's most of the time on you, go to bed late. The headache is one of those ones where it's like, Jesus, man, this just fucking sucks,
Yeah.
And it's as soon as your eyes open.
Yep.
And it's you just know there's no
like a
getting
ton
away
of
from it.
bricks.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's been really cool to obviously like become friends with you, but also see the behind the scenes like of LÜM and just everything that it takes to just make it happen. And what was cool is over the summer, Nathan and I, as well as Luke Maz, shout out Luke if you're listening, kind of put our heads together around, because obviously I work in like social media, so we were coming up with like fun ideas on how to promote it on socials and just some ideas for the socials, which was like one of my dream jobs. Check, like helping socials for an alcohol brand. I mean, like that's my private story. Like that's perfect. Like it's yeah. So no, that was really cool, and it was so cool to see. Luke was basically doing like man on the street interviews with LÜM, and I have truly never seen someone so like naturally good at that. Like it's crazy when you see those videos on TikTok how effortless people make it look. It's awkward. You're going up to strangers. Like it takes a lot of just like confidence and ability to talk to literally anyone and have like no social anxiety. And what's crazy too is like the rate of people that talk to him. I mean, he'll maybe like one person who kind of walks away, but he's like, "Hey, how you going? Oh, 77 calories. My name's Luke." And you're just like, "What is going on?" And it's great. It was really cool to see and work on.
Yeah. Luke is an animal. I called him last night. I had just woken up from my nap in the car, and I called him up. It's like, "Hey, dude," I was like giving him updates, and because he lives out here, not now, but like he grew up here.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Hey, I'm going to this bar. Like, I wanted to tell you this, that, or I don't know." I caught up with him the last night.
Yeah.
He's such a good dude. So high energy too. He like whenever he's around, like you kind of have to match it, right? Like you match the energy and then you just go and it's full speed ahead.
It's the best. He's just like, I hope he does something like that for his career.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if he's the next Ryan Seacrest or what, but like that could be in his future. But we also wanted to ask you about, because obviously running your own company and starting that up also such a young age is like huge, but I'm sure comes with many challenges and difficulties and hard days. What do you think is like the biggest challenge in running your own company, maybe at like this stage in life, right out of college?
Well, yeah. You don't see a lot of people, like a lot of times it is people that are older and have a good financial base behind them to kind of say like, okay, have a little less risk and be like, hey, I'm going to do this. And I know if it doesn't work out, I didn't lose too much, but going in there young as a college graduate, like
you went for it.
It's a lot of risk, and it seems like you're doing good, but what have been some of those challenges?
Yeah. One of the biggest challenges is like one, you're just doing everything like kind of on your own.
Yeah.
Like, and not like you kind of hit the nail on the head, like not having that prior experience and going out and trying to do it. Like, I'll be honest, like if I were to go back and like do it again, I probably wouldn't start the company. Like I would have gone, I would have learned as much else as I could have beforehand.
First, yeah.
Because it's always like you look back, you're like, oh, look at how much I learned in the last year. Look at how much I learned in the last year and a half. Like that's like a big deal. And like as a company, you gotta learn and do things fast. So you always gotta be like trying everything. It's almost like throw stuff at the wall until it sticks.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, that's definitely a challenge. It's also like when you have like a tough day or you like maybe there's a tough week or like whatever, it's you. Like there's nowhere else to go. Like it's also not like, oh, I had a tough day at work, like I didn't close that deal, or like I had to work and stay up like really late. Those situations, there's still money coming into your bank, right? Like you could have a really bad week and you're probably still getting paid, maybe not as much, like whatever, but you're still getting money,
right?
You also still have like a social group where or like that outlet, whether you're at work or not, where you have like people around you that are there to support. And definitely in the last like 5-6 months, my support group, like my family and like my really close friends, like the amount of times I've had to lean on them and like really start working on like that side of like being a person. And it's been so huge. Like it's a challenge, like doing stuff by yourself, or like just struggling, whether like I could be doing like a lot of stuff really well, but there's still always going to be those like things that slip through the cracks, or I don't, I miss something, and then all of a sudden it's just like now I'm behind. Like leaning on the support group is pretty big. So
no, I imagine like even just bringing work home and not really having that like separation of like, it's just your life. Like I'm sure always thinking about it, and I'm sure it's a lot. It's not like you're going into the office and then, okay, bye guys, see you tomorrow. It's just kind of always happening. Always on. But on the flip side, what are some cool things about it? What are some highs? Talk to us about the perks in case anyone's interested in starting something up.
Yeah, whenever you take a chance and it works,
rewarding.
That is like the best feeling ever. Whenever you go like out of your comfort zone, or you're just like, you look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, I just got to go do this. Like, I'm not comfortable doing it whatsoever. I know I'm not even good at this. I just got to put myself in the situation and go for it. And it ends up like playing out the way that you thought, or just some other crazy thing happens as a result of you doing something that you didn't want to do. That's like the most rewarding thing. The second most rewarding thing is having people validate what you're doing. So like, it's tough when you're in the industry, like whatever it is, and like you're always head down, like you're really hard on yourself.
Own worst
right
critic.
Like, and then when you're like doing tastings, or when someone else comes up to you and like tells you like, this is the best drink I ever had, or they're like, I love what you're doing with this, or like, I love literally anything, or they're like, you're a hustler, like you're gonna figure it out. Like, those parts are really, really cool, because it's like, all right, okay, this is why I'm doing it. There's other stuff that's going wrong, or I still have a long way to go, but when you hear that stuff, it's nice.
I mean, I can't, obviously don't own my own company, but even just like when we were thinking about like social media stuff and like, okay, how do we take, everyone's contributions, like what you wanted the brand voice to shine through, and then we're looking at, okay, how can we take like Luke's skills and really capitalize on those for content, and then I'm thinking about what, strategy for content. And I have to say, when like those videos that he was doing like started to take off, like in a much probably smaller sense that you feel during these highs, I was like, yes, like we did this, like that was us, and like figuring out what would work for everybody. It's so I can imagine it's a cool thing. Make shit happen.
It is. And the third thing is just like meeting people all the time. Like that part is I said earlier, like, oh, maybe I wouldn't have started it if I, because I wanted to have more experience going in, but like taking that chance to bet on myself, whether it ends up working out or not, right? My ability to say that I was living across the country in like my grandmother's house, and I would just go out either by myself or with people that I met with whatever I was doing. And I ended up like, that's like being able to say I could do that by myself, like looking whenever it ends, I'll be pretty proud of that. That's always like really cool to be able to do that.
I was just gonna say too, like you talked a lot about like it being you, which is also really interesting, because I think I have so much respect for people like you that start their own business. It's been like a thing that I've always thought about, but it's been like, what is it going to be? Is it? And I've just never done it. But and like work too, it's like, you go close a deal or you do something, but it's always for, yes, you get some of the benefits, but it's always for someone else or a bigger something, especially if you now like work in a huge company. Like, it's a minor victory to you, but like for them, you're just another number, and whatever you plug in at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to them. But like when you finally find that flavor that for like LÜM, for example, like that tastes good, and you're like, I did it, and it's like you were the one that did it, and now I'm reaping the benefits, is something I think it's really cool. So I have a lot of props to you for doing it the way you are.
Thank you.
Where do you see LÜM headed next? Like maybe for 2023, maybe in like 5 years. Where would you want to be? Walk us through maybe next steps, maybe goals.
So we're supposed to get distributed in a couple other states soon. So in the New England area, the whole idea behind us coming out to Massachusetts originally was California is such a big state, and like only the biggest distributors do stuff over there because the volume is so big. So like starting a business in California was like actually a mistake. Like I should have done it almost anywhere else.
Good to know.
Because it was just going to take too much money. Like I was dealing, it was like I don't know. I was tossing around pennies, and other people are like tossing around Benjamins. Like that was what I was like dealing with. But goals are we're getting those new states, so that's going to be really cool. I'm gonna make first East Coast hires. I want to have that set up by like I want to say the end of January.
Nice.
So that'll be cool. To have like a rep, like someone represent the brand, whether I'm here or not. And then we're gonna have a spring flavor.
Nice.
We're gonna have a summer flavor, and there's a flavor that we're gonna have next fall that is already good, and ready to go.
Very cool.
Nice. Yeah, might be. I think we might also up the percentage on the lighter one. The 4% might go like somewhere in between 4.5 or 4 or like 5%.
Nice.
So it's not like as super light anymore.
Yeah. Love it. Can't get mad at that. Yeah, no. Can't complain there.
Yeah. One thing we're gonna do like we're gonna do a couple college tours out here.
Oh, dope.
That'll be huge.
That'll be sweet. What else are we gonna do?
Sounds like a lot. That's a solid list.
Yeah, I have to start writing a lot of these things down though, because there's like 25 different things at one time, and I just gotta like, I don't know, it's like a habit I got myself into. Like if I think of something or if I like work on something, it goes into like a document, and then I just keep writing everything down. But for 5 years, I would love for the company to be like way more states than just the East Coast or just California. Like I would think it'd be cool if it was, I don't know, like nationwide.
Yeah.
I would love to have like a LÜM bar or like something like that.
Wow, that'd be dope.
I would love to do like big venues with like specialized cans. This is like dreaming, by the way. This is like, I don't even know.
No, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, like have cans that light up themselves or like are reflective. So when you have them in a bar, like if you're at a concert, the cans will like reflect light, so it's illuminating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
5 years. 5 years, I'm gonna be 28.
Wow.
But like, how cool is that? That like at that age, like I know you talked about maybe wishing you could have learned more along the way, but like getting to learn so much and doing it at the same time, like speaks to you being a hustler. And like, oh my God, what you're gonna know at 28 is like, look out, everyone. Yeah. Like, wow, that's dope.
Yeah. 28 though.
Yeah, it's scary. It's
5 years. Oh, I can't do math.
5 years ago, I started college.
Yeah, which is a weird,
That freaks me out. I still feel like we're all going back, like after Christmas. I'm like, okay, can't wait to see everyone.
Yeah.
Gotta let that go. Anyways, no, that's amazing. I love those ideas. That's super cool. That's dope.
I think all the rest of the stuff for 5 years, like personally, I'd love to have like I don't know, maybe like another side hustle too. Like if LÜM starts, I can put like different states or different areas on autopilot.
Yeah.
Do more of like management stuff instead of like what I'm doing now, which is just like very
everything.
in simplest terms. Yeah, just like super hands-on now. If it was more managerial or like oversight, I would love to have like a little side hustle type of thing. And if LÜM doesn't work out and I go get like another job or I figure something else out, that like entrepreneurial spirit will still like be like eating at me, and I want to do like something on the side.
So cool. Would you ever go on Shark Tank?
Maybe. Yeah.
I just love to see that. I love that show.
That'd be funny. Well, I'd have to take you and Luke on with me, because you guys would have like all the energy. You guys could do like the whole. We'd like do all the pitch and everything.
Yes.
We just like
I'm gonna hang on to this. We have this on video. Like that would be, because if I were to guess like one person I know to like go on Shark Tank and make it happen, I would put my money on you. Wow, if I got to be a part of the pit, woo, that'd be so fun.
I'm gonna make her cry over here,
dude. Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you have a question?
Yeah, it kind of just like popped to me. But one thing that you said that was cool, and like people I don't think realize, is like you said, like if you were to go back starting the company in California wouldn't be the right idea. And I feel like a lot of people think, oh, like these big places like New York, I don't know, different places, California, all these, Chicago, San Francisco, all these places, it's like way harder. And like I thought that was a cool tip, and not even you meaning to be a tip, but like, is there one thing that either you've learned or someone has told you with the whole starting a business that you try to follow or that is stuck with you?
Especially as of late, the last piece of really, really good advice I got was that your advisory board is like almost more important than you, like in terms of like growing a business, right? Because unless you're just super tapped in and connected in whatever industry you're going into, you're like nothing. You're a nobody. It doesn't, like, there's probably like 20 people like me. Maybe they're not like 23, but there's a bajillion seltzers, right? There's a bajillion different drinks. And there's not much that separates one from another, aside from what the flavor's called, what the alcohol is, like it, but it's all this pretty much the same stuff. And unless you have like the money or you're super connected, you need those people that are in front of you that have already done the work. Like the most valuable thing on the planet, the most valuable resource is time, right? And at 23, I don't have a lot of time under my belt. And there's a lot of people that have spent 23 years in the alcohol industry alone, right? Like, so having people that are like in your circle or that already have that experience, like that's the biggest thing in terms of like starting a company. Biggest tip. You just gotta
love that.
You gotta have people in your corner that have done it already.
I feel like too, sometimes people like forget that and they just want to make it happen and they want to go. But like even just like listening and like hearing about the trials and tribulations of someone who has done it before is very valuable. I love it. Okay, so we always like to wrap up our episodes. We've been going for almost an hour, so I don't want to take up too much of your time, but we always like to end episodes with a song of the week. So we share like a song we've been loving, a classic from when we were 5 years old, literally doesn't matter. Do you have a song that you would like to share to go on the Drink Smarter Not Harder playlist?
Well, it's Christmas time.
That's fair. That's fair. And this episode's gonna go out a week from tomorrow, so then it'll like really be in like the Christmas spirit.
Last Christmas, Wham! Remastered.
I like that. Nicely done.
A classic. I also love on the playlist that it's just gonna be a Christmas. In the
good one.
There, that's just awesome.
Dun, dun, dun.
That was great. That's perfect. Honestly, we need to get in the spirit. That's ideal. Okay, so if I were a listener and I want to go get myself a can of LÜM because they are delicious, they are phenomenal, and they can get you where you need to be. You know what I'm saying? The full moons, the half moons, whatever it is you're going for. Where could I find some?
West Coast, we have, like, we're in the liquor store right next to LMU on Lincoln and Manchester.
Love it.
We're in a couple in Hermosa. We have a store locator on our website too. Try LÜMspirits.com.
Beautiful.
If you're in Massachusetts, that's the only other state we're in. We're in all of the Total Wines. We're in another like 60, 65 accounts out here.
Nice.
All of which can be found on the store locator.
Amazing. We will put your website on our snip feed, on Drink Smarter Not Harder's snip feed. We'll make sure to put that there so people can go check it out. Check out the Instagram, check out the website, all of it. But Nathan, we appreciate you so much for coming out. This was so fun. This is first official time on the podcast, our first official guest episode. It was a blast. So thank you for being here. We really appreciate it, and for sharing all your knowledge on what you've been up to over these past few years.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a blast too. I'll probably ask you guys more questions after the recording ends, just because I talked a lot. So I'm talked out.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming on for episode 13, and that's
it.
No. Thanks.
Go get you some LÜM.
Go get you some LÜM. Thanks you all for listening.